I think it's for my grand's pool, whatever.
Nature began to
That's what,
overtake Edmonton, Kentucky. No attempt
yeah, I
was
want to
made
build
to
something.
rebuild or
I just
resettle the town.
want to build.
Edmonton soon became a little-known
Right.
historical footnote in Kentucky's history.
I just want to build something, bro.
A handful of homes and one of the churches remained standing, enshrouded by thick vines. And thriving
Busog na ka mo.
population.
Saka pagod.
In
Naglakad ng
2002,
mga
the
kaso.
official report from the FBI was made public after a local historian placed a Freedom of Information request. Dennis Miller, president and sole member of the Edmonton Historical Society, learned the FBI officially declared the reason for the town's spontaneous abandonment as fears related to the possibility of nuclear annihilation and unexplained atomic phenomena.
Dude, don't tell me you just climbed there for no damn reason, bro.
Dispersal of the town. Of course,
I'm gonna hit you off, you fuck you.
Miller said.
I'm gonna hit you off.
Alright,
go back there, go back to your hole.
Had ever been accounted for. There were no reports
Go back to your hole.
atmospheric phenomena by anyone in the area. However, by then, a new theory had emerged regarding the fate of the Edmonton inhabitants. A theory that began circulating after two self-proclaimed backyard.
I want to build something. So I build a roof in case they don't get in. If they get in my fucking basement, I'm so done.
People,
what do you want?
Are you phone? What time are you going to eat dinner?
Tomorrow.
9? Tomorrow? Tomorrow? You will not eat dinner?
No.
No?
As of 2016, 26 entrances into the cave system have been discovered.
I'm gonna die, man. I'm fat in real life, you understand that, right? I'm motherfucking fat in real life.
During the late 1970s, the abandoned ruins of Edmonton attained a cult status of backpackers and hitchhikers in the area. With the roads leading to Edmonton in despair, getting to the abandoned town is extremely difficult. But every year, intrepid amateur adventurers and curious locals would make their trek to one of the country's greatest but forgotten unsolved mysteries. 19 years after the disappearances, hikers Emilio Stevens and Julie Page parked their vehicles 30 miles outside the edge of the forest that surrounds the abandoned township and began their trek to Edmonton. We'd visited Edmonton 2 years before that day, Stevens said to a scientific journal afterward. Oh, it's creepy as hell. Takes about a day and a half to reach the town from the trailhead, and when you get there, you don't feel like sticking around. Most hikers pass through it or camp overnight in the outskirts. That November, Julie and I planned on staying overnight in church. I think it was more about testing our nerves than anything else.
Do I have a vision in my base?
The church Stephen was talking about is
oh my god, what's my vision again?
It's the largest structure still standing.
Oh yeah, it's like upside down. It's my vision.
Methodist Church collapsed in the late 1970s. Well, we were in Edmonton around nightfall on the second day, Stephen said. Julie wasn't feeling too hot, and it was beginning to sprinkle. We set our tents in the center of the church, and we prepared for our night. I could tell it was going to be like a miserable night. You know, the roof of the church leaked. A lot of pews had been destroyed by vandals and raccoons. As they settled in for the night,
holy man. Holy man. I think it's actually fine.
Even though
okay.
They had hiked into Edmonton before, they both felt unprepared for the degree of uneasiness they were experiencing. Around midnight,
I'll make this about chanted.
The better of the two of them, and they fell asleep. 2 hours later, Stephen
actually I have a vision, man.
At first I thought it was thunder, but then the floor slanted and we were falling. Stephen said, "There's nothing more disorienting than waking up in a tent and experiencing the sensation of free fall." The floor of the church collapsed in the middle of the night, flinging Stevens and Page into an as-of-yet undiscovered basement. Luckily, both Stevens and Page survived the fall without any serious injury. We were both really shaken, frankly, banged up, Stevens said. But in all the time that we had spent in and around Edmonton, we never heard of a basement in a Baptist church. We knew that we found something no one else knew about.
Okay.
Armed with only their flashlights, Stevens and Page sat exploring the decrepit basement. The room was hidden beneath the floorboards of the church and was small. It had been carved into the bedrock beneath the building's foundation. Stevens said there wasn't much to see.
Oh.
It looked as if the room had been used to store extra tables and chairs, presumably for after-church socials. But then, they found the hatch. Page found it in the far corner of the basement, Stevens said. It was set flush against the floor of the basement and
Oh shit.
made of 4 thick wood planks.
Alright.
The hinges had been bolted into the
Indeed,
bedrock on the left
I'm stuck.
side. The door had one of those
Actually, my base is kind of douche.
old-fashioned drop ring
Nah,
handles.
last time this is in my Minecraft world.
Stevens gripped the whole of the
I just
drop ring
cheated,
handle,
bro. I'm a pussy.
and
That's
after
why.
several tries,
Last time I
the
just
hatch
cheated for no damn
opened.
reason.
A square of
Oh my
darkness
god.
stared back up at him. Page activated and dropped the glow
Okay,
stick into
alright.
the shaft. The pale green glow of the stick stopped about 5 feet from the mouth of the hatch. I mean, we had to go down there, Stevens said. It's probably 3 in the morning. We for sure as hell weren't about to go back to sleep.
Disappointed.
Stevens tied a climbing rope to his back pant move and dropped down through the hatch. Page stayed above, metered out the rope, as Stevens progressed into the darkness.
Yeah, I'm trying something here, right?
Along the shaft,
I'm not a builder, right? I'm trying.
passageway opened up to the left, pointing westward.
Yeah, some of them are
Obvious
off
by
screen
then,
because I want
I
to do it
was
off screen.
traveling to a cave tunnel, and that it was not man-made, Stevens said. Eventually, the tunnel tightened, and Stevens found himself crawling on his hands and knees. The roof of the passage scratched by his back, and his hands began to get rubbed raw by the cave's rough floor. I'm not claustrophobic, but it started getting really tight, Stevens said. I began to worry about not being able to turn around and get back to the hatch. But I started to hear something coming up from ahead of me. I should have been freaked out, but at that point I figured that I just gone too far to bail out. After 15 minutes of crawling, Stevens was straining to put his shoulders through the ever-tightened passageway. The eerie noises emanating from ahead drove him deeper into the cave.
It's not bloody because I'm
However, his
so scared.
adventure came to an abrupt end. The passageway ended at a pile of rocks, Stevens said. Each rock looked to be about the size of my head. It couldn't block any further spelunking. I could hear noises clearly now.
Mm-hmm.
Even distinguish words and
Yeah,
phrases.
I want some
of my
roof.
journey.
The roof is kind of a douche.
However, right before the passageway terminated at the cave-in, Stevens found a couple of objects. He put them in his jacket and began backing out. It took him 30 minutes to back up out of the tight passageway. When he made it up out of the shaft and back into the church's basement to a relieved Page, he took out the objects and inspected them. I found an old pair of glasses, like old-fashioned reader's glasses, and a woman's shoe with a heel missing. It didn't mean anything to us at the time. Stevens and Page hiked out of Edmondson early the next morning, battered and spooked. When they reached their car, they immediately headed into Mammoth National Park and reported what they had found to a park ranger. In the investigation that followed, it was determined that Stevens and Page had discovered an entrance to an unmapped portion of the Mammoth.
Oh, Jesus, man.
Unfortunately,
Okay,
geologists determined that the cave-in
Hey.
that stopped Stevens' progress was at least 100 feet thick. Unless they used explosives, there was no way to investigate further. However, it was the discovery of the cave entrance, coupled with the
I'll
objects
probably
that Stevens
despawn.
found,
Why?
that held
They're over
disturbing
there, right?
implications
I don't
for
know.
the unsolved mystery of the disappearance in Edmonton 20 years prior.
How?
Historians dated the eyeglasses and the woman's shoe to the late 1950s.
Did I die for no damn reason?
Most historians and geological experts are now
It's in the air.
near unanimous agreement about what happened to the inhabitants of Edmonton, Kentucky in 1962. Driven by
Fuck my
fear
life.
of a first strike by Cuba during the Missile Crisis and religious fanaticism, the people of Edmonton sought refuge in a secret labyrinth cave system underneath their town. fortunes. A cave-in, perhaps triggered by their panicked influx through the tight passageway, trapped every man, woman,
Like, it's not,
and
it's not,
child.
it's kind of true, but that's not my thing about. Damn.
Yeah, it's deeply unsettling when you realize that at the same time, Sheriff Ambrose and the men were exploring the town. Everyone they were searching for was probably about 400 feet underneath their feet. Said Tom Saw, the ranger at Mammoth National Park. If they had fresh water and food, and if the cave had a clean air supply, some experts believe the people of Edmondson could have survived for at least 6 months underground.
Alright.
I
On
reckon
my,
it's a pretty good theory,
my thing.
Steven said. But it still doesn't explain what I heard that day. The reason I dropped down through the hatch and crawled on my hands and knees for like 15 minutes. It doesn't explain the singing I heard. While I was crawling down there, I clearly heard voices. I heard them singing the hymn.
Nothing is something. Disappointing. The fuck? Oh, fucking
Dennis
man.
Miller
I'm not being struck by
started the
lightning, bro.
Edmondson Historical Society in
Fuck
2001
no, bro.
to raise awareness about the town and the mystery
I'm not
surrounding
struck by lightning.
it. He was 12 years old.
Alright.
It really is a 20th
Alright, I hope these
century
bastards
poem,
don't come here, bro. I forget, man.
Miller said,
I have a
referencing
roof.
how
Alright,
it
fuck
appeared
you.
in the 1590s.
I have a
And there's no
roof.
reason why
I have a
you should
roof.
be able to
Fuck
figure out what
you.
happened. Miller lived in Clement. On his days when he's not researching Edmondson, he runs a small pawn shop. Many people would consider Miller's fascination with Edmondson to border on obsession. But when they learn about Miller's personal history with the area, it begins to make sense. During a family camping trip in 1997,
Okay.
Miller's father and mother went missing after making camp in the wilderness 3 miles north of Edmondson.
You
Miller,
can go
who was
outside,
7
bro.
at the time,
It's no problem.
was with them when they disappeared.
Okay.
We camped off, and we used a big tent for the 3 of us. That night, we went to bed around 9 after
Okay, what am I do here?
I woke up. 1 in the morning. Realized my parents weren't in the tent anymore. The front flap was open. Miller spent 2 days alone in the woods, never straying far from the campsite in case his parents came by. After sustaining on hot dog buns and marshmallows, he was discovered by another set of campers passing through the area. After searching the area for 2 weeks, it was sufficient I had been abandoned in the woods by my parents. But that's not true. My parents loved me. I never doubted that, but they had abandoned me.
Oh, fuck me.
I liked their call. Found, untouched. After the investigation closed, Miller spent the next decade of his life
Castillos.
foster care system, driven by a desire to protect his parents' reputation and validate their love for him. Miller began reviewing historical records in libraries and did a sweep of the police records in the surrounding areas. Some might accuse Miller of attempting to connect unrelated dots. Some of his data and findings are shocking, to say the least. For example, the 3 counties that border the location of Edmondson have a missing persons rate 17 times higher than the similarly sized counties in the United States. It's an area we sometimes refer to as the Kentucky Triangle. Said FBI agent, head of the state's missing person division. For some reason, a lot of people seem to disappear in those counties. Some of the disappearances can be attributed to cave robberies, the vast swath of unmapped wilderness, and the recent boom of meth operations in rural areas. Also, Stevens wasn't the first person to report hearing strange voices and singing in and around the Mammoth Cave system. Some people consider Mammoth National Park to be the most haunted national park in the United States. There have been dozens of accounts of people hearing strange noises in the woods and caves since the 1970s.
This is what I think of,
While
alright?
sightings of
Come on.
small
It is
humanoid-like
the only
creatures
shit I think
called
of,
black demons,
alright?
according to
Alright, you think I'm a fucking
Geologists and
builder?
historians dismiss many of these
No,
accounts.
bro.
After Stevens told authorities that he had been following the voices of singing as he made his way through the
There you go.
passageways, expert cavers
Ugly
would
as
quickly
fuck on
point
the
out,
camera.
even if he had heard people singing, they could not have come from behind the cave-in rocks. The cave-in was too thick for sound to penetrate. Also, because Mammoth National Park sits on top of the Mammoth Cave system, it's not unreasonable to assume that a lot of the strange noises and voices are a result of sounds bouncing and echoing throughout the caves. Caves are, after all, notorious for their disorienting acoustics. But Miller had a different theory.
No, fuck it.
A theory as macabre as
Price,
it would be
man.
revelatory if it turned out to be true. I think
Oh shit.
the people of Edmonton are still alive, Miller said. I think they're down there in an unmapped portion of the cave system. And they've chosen to stay below.
How?
70 years since they went in, which means the first generation probably mostly died off, and an entire second or third generation that only knows life underground. As for the disappearances, Miller has an answer for that too. Every now and then, I think they found other exits. Every now and then, they come out and take detours on hikers, drifters, campers, locals, Miller said. I think that's what happened right now.
Okay.
It's been happening
This is not intended,
years
but I don't
before
know.
they were taken in.
Alright.
Continues on till today.
This one. It's on it.
On his days off, you could find Miller searching the forests around Edmonton and the outskirts of Mammoth National Park for additional entrances into the Mammoth Cave system. He carries a GPS locator, rappelling gear, and multiple flashlights, and a Colt 45 automatic gun. Now, for some reason, they don't want to be seen by us.
No, bro. That's fine, bro. It's a cobblestone road. It's my favorite block ever. Can I get out or get in? Oh no. When I use slabs, I can't even do shit. Like, it could be a bad idea.
What that meant for my mom and dad, but
Could be a bad. It could be a bad idea.
I know. Be able to do something about it. In spite of being armed, as soon as the sun begins to slink behind the trees, Miller makes sure to abandon his search and head back to his vehicle. You know, you'll never find me spending the night in those woods. Never again.
I was not planning to, actually.
I've spent my entire professional life studying the
Probably
Titanic.
this side, I don't know.
Nothing could have prepared me for how deeply the ship would eventually.
Fuck my life.
My name is Dr. Michael Hartley, and I'm a maritime historian specializing in the RMS Titanic. For 20 years, I've dedicated my life to understanding every minute detail of that tragic voyage. The passengers, the crew, the intricate social dynamics, fatal design flaws. It began as academic fascination, gradually transformed into an obsession.
Do you have
that would
stuff right here?
ultimately unravel my entire perception of reality. The artifact came from a private collection in Southampton. An elderly collector, Harold Jameson, had contacted me after hearing about my reputation.
Yeah, look at this
He
design,
claimed to have
boy.
something unusual. Personal effects recovered from the wreckage.
Man, I
never
hate
been
taxes.
properly
Like,
documented.
fuck my life.
Most researchers would have been skeptical, but my hunger for untold stories always outweighed my caution. When the package arrived,
Taxes sucks, man.
surprisingly modest, small, leather satchel, water-stained, and
Taxes
fragile,
sucks.
contained appeared to be
Taxes is
personal
so bad,
documents,
man.
a tarnished locket, and a small fragment of
Jesus
fabric.
Christ, man. Tax.
The moment my fingers brushed against the
Goddamn
items,
taxes, man.
different.
No, man. Like, some taxes are not
A chill
expensive,
ran down
but
my spine that had nothing to do with
if
the
this
room's
inflation
temperature.
shit, man, you can afford your own food,
The
you can
fabric
afford your
was
own
what caught
shit.
my attention first. A
Like,
small,
there's no jack shit you can live
roughly
there, man.
triangular piece of third-class passenger clothing, coarse, dark wool, intricate stitching. As I examined it
I'll
under my
probably
magnifying
get
glass,
another
the edge
one.
unexpectedly caught my skin.
How?
Thin, precise cut opened across my palm, tiny droplets of blood immediately welling up. I should have cleaned the wound immediately. I should have been more careful, but something about the artifact held me transfixed.
Oh my god.
The blood seemed to absorb into the fabric. Not seep, not stain, but absorb, like the material was drinking it. And for a split second, I could have sworn the fabric's color deepened, becoming richer, more vibrant. And that was the first moment that I heard the whispers. Faint at first, so quiet. I initially thought it was the wind or the ambient noise of my study. Fragmented words in a language that felt both foreign and intimately familiar. Desperate. Terrified. No escape. Water rising. God help me. I dismissed it as imagination.
Okay.
Exhaustion from weeks of intense research, but as the days progressed, the whispers became more persistent, more defined. By the third night, I knew something fundamental had changed. The dreams began. Vivid, horrifyingly detailed nightmares that felt less like dreams, more like memories. I wasn't observing, I was experiencing. It was Thomas. Thomas Riley, a 22-year-old Irish immigrant from a small village outside Dublin. Third-class passenger dreaming of a better life in America. Scraped together every penny for that ticket on the Titanic. And these dreams, these memories, I could feel the cramped conditions of steerage, smell of unwashed bodies, constant background noise of children crying, adults speaking in a dozen different languages, the hope, the desperation, and then the ice. The first impact was nothing like the dramatic Hollywood depictions, a subtle shudder. Most passengers didn't even realize something was wrong. But Thomas knew. Something in his bones understood the terrible mathematics of what was happening. Water, cold, rising. Panic would come later. First would be the terrible, suffocating realization of doom. Every night
The
the
thing
dreams
about
grew more
this,
intense, more real.
actually it's decent.
I'd wake
I don't
up
know.
drenched in sweat, my lungs
Decent as
burning,
fuck.
convinced I was drowning.
There you go.
My sheets would be
Oh,
damp.
it's gonna be
smelling
unnatural,
salt,
that guy.
industrial coal smoke.
Okay, alright.
Things
Just
happening to me. Something
on this one, and there we go.
couldn't explain.
He's bullshit. Let me see
The
it
cut
in
on
real
my
ground
hand
now.
didn't heal properly.
Damn, wait. Waiting.
What began as a simple wound transformed into something different. The skin around the cut remained perpetually raw, with an iridescent quality that shifted colors and caught in certain lights. Blues and grays, deep ocean water. Sometimes, if I stared too long, I could swear the wound moved. Not
Shit.
visibly, but with a subtle,
Doesn't work, bro.
internal rippling.
I tried, bro. No.
My research became increasingly
No.
erratic. Colleagues
Actually,
noticed the
it
change.
doesn't fit
Dr.
at all, bro.
Elizabeth
This
Moreau,
game.
my longtime research partner,
Tried, bro.
approached me
Boom.
during a
There we go.
conference. Her concern etched deep in
And
the lines of her face.
and I fucked it up.
Michael, you look terrible, she said, not unkindly. When was the last time you slept?
I look terrible as fuck, man.
Tell her about the dreams, about Thomas,
Not fucking. I'm
about the
just
memories
trying
that
to delete
weren't
that shit.
mine.
Oh fuck it.
The artifacts from the Southampton collection
Well, it's
began
fine,
to
actually,
consume
no,
my every waking moment.
Dead,
I
keep it here.
cataloged them obsessively, discovering minute details that had escaped previous researchers. Ticket stub with a partial fingerprint, fragment of a letter, water damaged but still partially legible, a brass button from a third-class steward's uniform. Each item seemed to pulse with an energy I couldn't explain. The whispers grew stronger. During the day, they were subtle. Background noises that could be mistaken for the hum of fluorescent lights. Distant murmur of traffic, but at night. At night, they became a symphony of terror. Hundreds of voices overlapping, desperate.
How?
Can't breathe.
I have to go back here because my animals are fucked, man.
Not for
They're
academic purposes,
getting
but as
smarter
a
every day.
desperate attempt to maintain my sanity, to track the progression of whatever was happening to me. Entry, October 17th.
Look at that shit, man.
Dreams are becoming more
It's like a
specific.
ship.
I'm not just experiencing
A
Thomas's
cobblestone
memories, I'm
ship?
beginning
Like,
to
well,
understand his
that.
entire life, his voices,
Uh,
fears,
yeah.
the smell of his mother's breath,
Yeah, they're kind of ugly, bro. I don't
calluses
care.
on his hands,
Like, this is the entrance right here.
of his single best
It's
suit,
the
purchased
entrance.
specifically for the journey to America.
Yep, it's a fully
I
cobblestone
know the
ship,
exact
man.
moment he realized the ship was doomed.
Like, I feel like I wanna put something here.
Dramatic moment of terror. Just a slow, terrible understanding that popped into his consciousness like ice cold water. The cut on my hand started to change. Small, intricate patterns began to emerge around the world. Patterns that looked like nautical maps.
Shit,
Next network of corridors,
could be enough. Yeah,
Titanic.
last time I messed up multiple times.
Blue gray lines that seemed to move when I wasn't directly looking at them. My sleep became a battlefield. One moment I was Dr. Michael Harton, respected historian, meticulous researcher. The next I was Thomas Riley, cold, desperate, trapped. The boundary between us was dissolving and something else was emerging. Something that
Don't tell me, bro. I'm not
had
looking
been
at that bastard.
buried deep beneath the cold
Fuck no,
Atlantic
bro.
waters
It's a
for
bad
over
idea.
century. Something that wanted to be remembered. By November, I was losing myself. My apartment became a sprawling archive of Titanic ephemera. Walls covered in maritime maps, passenger lists, photographs. They weren't just historical documents anymore. They were alive. Photographs, God, the photographs. The third-class passengers frozen in sepia-tone moments. They would shift when I wasn't looking directly at them. Faces would turn slightly, eyes would follow me. And not all of them, just select images, always the ones showing people who died that night. Thomas's memories were no longer confined to dreams. I could take the salt water during faculty meetings, feel the impossible cold of the Atlantic while lecturing about maritime engineering.
Okay. Man, my iron golem died, bro.
Was I
So
the
sad.
professor?
I could make another one, but I don't have any iron.
Touching a wooden panel, freezing water. The wound on my hand became a map. Literally. Intricate blue-gray lines now formed a precise topographical representation of the Titanic boat deck. If I trace the lines with my finger, I can feel the ship's internal layout. I can sense the exact location of each corridor, each compartment. The precise
Like,
angles
this
where
dude
water
doesn't
would
even stuck here, bro.
first
Yeah.
reach the hull. Dr.
I
Moreau
want
stopped calling.
precaution, bro. I don't know.
My department
Ain't
chair
that
suggested a
precautions? It's
sabbatical.
fine. I don't know.
It
Like,
was becoming
this one here.
something which
They
was
keep jumping in the
sorry,
edge, bro. It's so annoying.
a haunting.
Yeah, look at this shit, man.
One night I discovered something in Thomas's memories that chilled me more than the phantom maritime cold that now perpetually surrounded me.
Take it, that's your favorite spot no more, but I'm gonna block the restriction, bro. Like, they can't do
His
that no
original
more,
ticket
asshole.
for a smaller vessel leaving a week earlier had been lost. Stolen, actually. By a man whose name was never recorded in any manner.
You'll probably go here and fuck this
Whose
game, man.
face Thomas remembered with a strange, specific terror, and he seemed to know what was coming. The whispers grew more insistent, no longer just memories of terror and drowning. Now they carried something else.
Like, when you go here, like, boom,
Warning.
block the way. Fuck you.
He's coming.
And these bastards can
He's
fucking
always
go here,
been
bro. Like,
coming.
Yeah, what are you doing?
I realized then that the haunting wasn't about the ship. It was about something much older, much darker. And I was just beginning to understand. Christmas came, and with it a strange peace. The whispers didn't stop, but they changed. Thomas's memories became less a torment and more of companionship. I understood now that he wasn't trying to possess me, he was trying to warn me. Dr. Elizabeth
How?
visited me on Christmas Eve. I hadn't seen her in months, and the concern in her eyes told me she looked as fractured as I felt. She said, placing an old leather-bound journal on my desk. It was my grandmother's. She was a maritime historian, too. I thought you might appreciate
I think I'm gonna
it. Journal belonged
take
to
a
a
nap.
researcher from the 1930s. Someone who
I
had
don't know why they
investigating
keep coming
titanic
here. I go
before
block the
modern
blocking way. Freaking out of here, bro. I just look at that. I put the roof.
as
Alright, I put
Elizabeth
the
left on
fucking
the
roof in just in case they don't come back here, bro.
tucked between yellowed sheets was a photograph, not of the
Like,
Titanic.
this is insensitive bullshit, man. I like that.
A man standing alone on a foggy pier, his face partially obscured, but familiar in a way that made the hair on my neck stand up. A man from Thomas's stolen memory. That night, the wound on my hand, now a living map of maritime tragedy, began to speak differently. No longer desperate whispers of drowning, but something more measured, more intentional. Some stories are meant to be remembered. Some warnings must be carried. And I understood then that Thomas's spirit wasn't a victim. He was a guardian. The cold that had haunted me for months began to recede completely, enough that I could breathe, enough that I could think clearly. Outside my window, snow fell. Pure, silent. And for the first time since touching the artifact, I felt something like hope. The story wasn't over. Wasn't finished. At least, not completely. I worked in Gramps' shop for most of my life. It's been the first job for not just me, but all my siblings and most of my cousins. Grandpa runs a little pawn shop downtown, the kind of place that sells antiques as well as modern stuff.
Alright.
He does pretty well. I don't think I've ever seen him worry about paying rent, that he can afford to pay us kids better than any other place in the neighborhood. All the other kids quit on it after a while, but you know,
Intruder.
I enjoyed the work, and Grandpa
Intruder
always said I
here.
had a real knack for it.
My
Keep
goodness.
at it, kid. Someday this whole shop will be yours. Grandpa and I live above the shop, off in the spare room after Grandma died a few years back. It's been a pretty good arrangement. Every evening he turns on the radio.
Man, you guys pushing my dogs here,
We sit
boy.
around, we drink. He tells me stories from back in the day. The radio never seemed to make
No,
any
I'll
money.
get an
I
egg,
was
bro.
young, I kept it around.
This is tradition, bro.
Told me it was
I'll
something he'd
throw
had
you
for a
an
long
egg.
time, and that it
Get out of
was
my property. Cause you have good,
special. The old
you
radio
have
was
good
special.
shit I like to buy.
He said that was a long story.
You gotta scam my goal here?
I
A
said, I didn't
sugar
have anything else to
cane.
do but sit here, listen to the rain.
You know what, bro?
And Grandpa
You know what?
settling in as he moved things
Not even trying.
in the background.
Get him.
Grandpa grew up in the early 60s. Technically, he grew up in the 40s.
Oh my god.
And a lot of his stories, it doesn't really seem like his life began until 1962. He describes it as one of the most interesting times of his life and A lot of it's because of his father.
Free
my great-grandfather.
leather. Free
They grew up in
leather.
Chicago, and the town was just starting to get its
Yes.
feet under
Alright.
it after years of war and
Alright, free
strife.
leather here.
His mother had died when he was
Actually.
14, and his father opened a pawn
Not my
shop
crops,
where
bro. This guy's an
buy
asshole. Like,
pawns.
alright, I'm gonna watch you.
But they weren't
Not my
pawn
crops,
shops.
bro. Not my
I think
fucking
Grandpa
crops,
thought,
right?
what my
Get the fuck out of
great-grandfather
here.
had was a brokerage or something. But all that mattered was that people came in, and they tried to sell him strange and wondrous things.
Yep. I love free llama.
So great-grandpa
Because
had run the place.
the
with his
leather is
family, which
good.
consisted of my grandfather, my great-grandfather, and my great-uncle Terry. Great-great-grandma lived with him, but she didn't help out around
I do
the
have
house.
cows, bro.
She
You
had
can feed it.
dementia, so she mostly stayed upstairs in her room, and she knitted and waited to die. They lived above the shop in a little 3-bedroom flat. It was a little tight, Grandpa said, but they did all right. Grandpa worked at the pawn shop since he needed money to pay for his own apartment.
Alright then.
And he said they got some of the strangest things sometimes, especially if his Uncle Terry was behind the counter. Uncle Terry was an odd duck. And that's coming from a family that wasn't quite strictly normal. My dad used to usually buy things and sell these appliances, tools, cars, furniture, that sort of thing. Uncle Terry, however, he would often buy things that were a little less easy to move. Bought
Actually, I have a
old movie
cheap
props one time
population.
that were genuine
Alright.
props from an old Bela Lugosi
Just a
film.
little cheap population, not the most of them, bro.
Uncle Terry was
I don't need a lot of cows now.
turned out to be stolen.
I don't
That
know.
was okay. They turned it into the police, and the war was worth way more than they had spent on it.
Like, I didn't multiply cows, bro. I multiply cows.
Terry
I can multiply cows right now.
was a veteran.
Okay. It's a little bit on turn, but I need pigs, though.
Sometimes the same choices all at once. Of course, Terry was the one who fought. My dad had been sick about a week. Bad enough, the family had worried that he might not come back from it. Now, people in those times didn't always get over illness. Once you had money to go see a doctor, you either got better or you didn't. He finally hacked it all up and got better and was ready to return to work. So he comes downstairs in the floor, and Terry's sitting there reading some kind of artsy-fartsy magazine. I see that they've taken a new radio.
Just come back there, bro. Whatever. Yeah.
Dials, as if they were out of Frankenstein's lab. Thinks that looks pretty good. Congratulates Terry, telling her everybody wants the radio. That'll be real easy to sell. Now, Terry looks over his magazine, tells him it ain't a radio. Dad asks him what the hell it is. And Terry lays down the magazine, gives him the biggest, creepiest grin I've ever seen. It's a spirit radio, Terry announces like it's supposed to mean something. Now, I was working when Dad and Uncle Terry had that conversation. Dad just pinched the bridge of his nose, shook his head like he was trying not to bash Terry's skull in. After buying a bunch of counterfeit movie props, the guy that Dad didn't even need an expert to tell him were fake, Uncle Terry had been put on a strict $100 a month budget of things that he could buy from the shop. Anything over $100, he had to go talk to Dad about. Dad hadn't had any visits from Uncle Terry, other than bringing food last week. Dad knew that it either had cost less than $100 or Uncle Terry hadn't asked. How much does this thing cost, Terry? Dad asked. It just made me angry. Now, Terry seemed hedge a little. Nothing, Brian. The thing will pay for itself by the end of the month. You'll see. I'll show you the thing really is. How much? My dad asked. Made it sound like a threat. $500. But Brian, I've already made back 200 of that. Give me another week and I'll. Dad heard it. You spent $500 on this thing. It better be gold-plated because $500 is a lot of money for a damn radio. Now, Terry tried to explain, but Dad wouldn't have any of it. He told Terry to get out of the shop and
I think I want weed right now.
Terry suddenly remembered a friend that he
But
had
I want to
seen
make a
in
farm
Summer
out of it. I
City.
don't know.
And Dad rounds on me like I had something to do with it. He asked how much Terry really spent on that thing. I was thinking I actually spent about $550 on it. Dad asked why in heaven's name no one had consulted him before spending such an astronomical sum. Now, the truth of the matter was, I was spooked by the radio. The guy had brought it in like a maniac. Now he comes
What a
with
maniac.
like when he wheeled it up to the counter, I had come to see what was wrong. Terry was already there,
Okay.
and he perked up and looked. I told him
I do need a lot of chests in there, bro.
I didn't care much for the old man himself. He's not foreign, U.S. German, glass eye, fool. He ripped the quilt off the cabinet like a showman doing a trick, and there was a spirit radio.
Alright then.
Classic from the front desk. Uncle Terry asked him what it was. The man said he'd be happy to demonstrate. He took out a pocket knife, cut his finger, sprinkling the blood into a bowl.
I think barrels are cheaper. I don't know why.
The
Or
blood
not cheaper. I'm being dumb.
Piles began to glow. The thing come to life. Uncle Terry had started to tell the man he didn't have to do that, but as it glowed in the moon, protest died on his lip. Spirit radio, the man said. Who win tomorrow's baseball game? Phillies, the boxer toned in a deep, unsettling voice. They'll defeat the Cubs 9-7. Uncle Terry was ready to bite it on the spot when he asked what the man wanted for it.
Alright, this is our lucky shot here. How many eggs do I have?
Back and forth, nearly an hour.
Nope, I don't have any eggs.
So they finally set his $550. I just can't get Madigan's unfiltered custody. Terry was wrong either. He couldn't use that spirit radio thing to get
Let's use our
on
mini
different
eggs. Just
stuff.
throw it out
Actually
of
did
here,
win
bro.
the game the next day, 9-7.
Like, I'll need more chicken, bro. I
He's
can't.
been making bets and collecting debts ever since. He's paid the store back $200. I know he's won those debts. His dad still looked at him. But he looked intrigued, too. Dad didn't put a lot of stock in the weirdness. He understood money. I saw him look at the spirit radio, the bowl of crystal on top of it. Then that little buck knife, I turned away before I could see him slice himself. He grunted and squeezed a few drops over the bowl. The radio heard the light. I turned back to see him glowing.
Oh my god. Alright, wait.
Dial swiftly.
Whoa. Alright, we got chickens. This is my tradition here. Look at this. Alright. There we go. Damn. Okay. Oh, my dog's gonna get fucked, bro. I don't know. We have the keeping company. Shit, not again.
Dad rubbed his face and
Alright.
scrubbed stubble in his palm. Thought about it in the hand of the box. Went to the register to see what he had paid. He's gone. When Uncle Terry came back, Dad handed him an envelope, told him to shut up. And tried to explain himself.
I really want to have a
You'll
wheat
be
farm. I guess I need a lot of books. Underground wheat farm. Actually, no way.
I'll bet every cent of it Mama's boy will win the first race. And you'll bring me all the winnings back, and if you lose that money, I'll put this thing in the window. I'll sell it as a regular radio, and you'll never be allowed to purchase anything from the shop again. Said, and if he wins, Terry asked. Grandpa took a sip of his beer then, got a faraway look as he contemplated.
Okay, this is the first time I just use
That's how Grandpa told stories.
a freaking hoe.
Living in the times when he was talking about.
I don't want
I
to hoe,
suppose in a
bro.
lot of ways he was.
Alright, I'm gonna hoe.
Back to
I'm a
the
farmer now.
1960s.
I'm a farmer, mother.
Time was a young life.
Okay.
The time when he encountered something he couldn't quite explain.
Diddy.
Invested now as we sat in the apartment above the shop, drinking beer and watching it rain. Oh yeah, Grandpa said. They won. When Uncle Terry came back with money, I think Dad was as surprised as Terry was. Terry had been using him. It always felt like he was operating on the idea that it was some kind of monkey's paw situation. After a while, it'd be an accounting for what he won. When a month went by, however, and going outside to use the radio, Terry got a bit more comfortable. We started asking other things. Results of boxing matches, anything else he could use to make money. Got so bad that his fingers started to look like pinfish. Started cutting into his palm. Seemed like more blood equals better results. Sometimes you get a play-by-play. He bled me for it. That was still not liking to give it to me. Uncle Terry was adamant about it. There was a mania in it. Even though it hurt him.
Man, why am I not getting pig populations?
He seen
Like,
him
what the
on
fuck?
the radio talking to him.
Why am I not getting pig populations?
The shop was doing better, like some cash injection from the Spirit radio. And Dad was buying better things to stock. Bought some cars, electronics.
Well, 18 will be fine, actually.
Times were good.
The hell?
Everyone was going well. That's when Uncle Terry took him. He brought the bottle to his mouth, but didn't quite make it.
Alright.
Seemed to get stuck halfway there.
I need infinite water source again. Dang it. Okay.
He jumped when the cold liquid touched him and righted it, putting it down.
Oh my god, bro. Like, damn.
He shook the
Just
drops off
stop
his shirt
ore farming, bro?
and was back to the
Damn.
rain.
I think I'm gonna mine that
Turning
shit.
his dry lips.
I think I'm gonna do that side, I don't know.
One night we tied on a few too
This
late.
side right here. Oh my god.
Really serious look in his face. Staggered downstairs despite Dad yelling at him asking where he's going. Then he started yelling and ran downstairs to see what was going on. And he leaned over to the spirit box. Tipped of his fingers dribbling and yelled at him. He held it out. And the blood fell into the crystal dish on top of the radio as it came to life. He put his ruddy face very close to the wooden cabinet, blistered out his question, clearly not for the first time. When will I die? The radio was silent. Lights blinking. Did he return an answer? He cut another finger asking the same question, but it never returned an answer. Before we could stop it, he split his palm almost to the wrist as the blood dribbled into the stone. He nearly screamed his question at him. When will I die? Spirit radio still said nothing. Dad and I had to restrain him. We could do it again. We don't know what brought this on. We never found out. But Uncle Terry became very interested in death. More specifically, when he was going to die. I don't know, maybe all this spirit talk got him thinking. Maybe he was afraid that one day his voice was going to come out of that radio. Whatever the case, Dad put a stop to using it and hid the thing. He had to keep going. Uncle Terry always found it again, hide it for a day or two. Eventually we'd find him, bleeding from his palms, pressing his face against it. Sometimes I could hear him whisper through the lines, talking back to him. Like the sounds. Uncle Terry was attached to the hip. It went on for about a month, and Uncle Terry did something unforgettable. He got his answer. He watched the rain for a moment longer, his teeth chattering a little as he was trying to get the sound out of his head. Grandpa didn't much care for the rain. I had known him to close the shop if it got really bad. It always seemed to make him extremely uncomfortable. That's why we're sitting up here in the first place. I believe that Grandpa would have liked to be drinking something a little stronger.
How did you get here? Okay.
Dad and I got a call about something big, so we always wanted. It was an old guy selling it, this woman's dad is asking way less than it was worth. He wanted me to come along to help move it, so that he didn't.
Fine, get out of here.
He's been flaky lately, obsessed with that damn radio. Wouldn't leave the house. To say that Terry had been flaky was an understatement. Uncle Terry had been downright weird. When I left the shop, looking for the radio. I started to notice a weird smell coming around the house. I suspected he wasn't bathing. Never saw him eat or sleep. Hunted for the radio, felt shredded his blood when he found it. My dad had always asked him, Terry, he said he was busy. His dad told him to keep an eye on the mother. Mother, my great-great-grandmother, had been suffering from dementia for years. Dad and Uncle Terry decided to keep an eye on her instead. Instead of just putting her in a home. Terry agreed. As we left the house, the rain started to come down. That's what I always remember about that day. The way the rain came down in buckets. The sky was crying. What was about to happen? We got the armoire into the trailer. The guy had a thick old quilt throw getting wet. When we got back to the shop, he brought it in and left it in the back room. Damn fine. He had something special. He was excited to see what he could get for it.
What are you doing, bruh?
We went upstairs to get fresh clothes.
Don't do that.
Joking about the trip.
Damn.
When we got to the landing, Dad was his nostrils flared as he sniffed. I smelled it too. I couldn't identify it at the time. Dad must have recognized it because he burst into the apartment.
Okay. We don't have to mine that side. Like, we can mine that side, I don't know.
Uncle Terry was sitting in the living room.
Right, that side is unavailable because I already mined that. Shit.
Red on his knees, getting redder by the minute. He was rocking back and forth, the spirit radio glowing beside him. Be the same thing over and over.
I would do this again, bro. I
He
know.
found it wherever Dad had hidden it.
Like,
Clearly went out to his old kitchen. Dad stood over him as he rocked, his fist tight. Wanted to hit him. When he growled at him and took a step away, said the rage was building up there. What have you done? He said. Today. It's today. Today. It's today. There he get right on beat. Rocking back and forth as he sobbed him. My dad turned the bowl on top of the beer radio. Not like we saw. I saw it later. After everything had come next. This is full of blood. Crystals were swimming in it, practically floating in the thick red blood. Dad was doing the math. It was more blood than a finger prick or a palm cut. His finger getting worried, given the terror, he was still conscious. He said, "Where's Mom?" His voice low and dangerous. Today, it's today. Where's our mother, Terry? Dad yelled, leaning down to grab him by the collar, pull him up. Uncle Terry had blood on his hands, the elbows. Instead of dripping off on the floor, it stayed taped on him in thick dry patches.
okay.
Shaking seemed to
That'll be
have
enough.
brought out his
So
hands.
that would be enough.
Instead, he said if I wanted the answer, I had to sacrifice. Terry said, his voice cracking. He said I had to give up something important if I wanted to know something so important, something I loved. The others were enough. I didn't even know them, but my mother was. He stopped. He stopped stammering when Dad wrapped his hands around his throat. Choked him, shook him violently as he screamed the words into his dying face and dropped him. When he dropped him, Uncle Terry didn't move. Dad and I just stood there for a second. Dad seemed to remember I was there in the hall. When he caught sight of the softly glowing radio, the subject of my uncle's obsession, he pivoted, lifted his foot and kicked the thing. I could tell he meant to destroy it. Could not stop kicking until it was splinters on the floor, but something stopped him. Whether it was regret for what he had done, or otherworldly force, my dad found himself unable to strut the cabinet.
Okay,
Afraid to
get
let
over
his
here.
spirits out.
Okay.
You never know.
Alright.
Instead, he went to call the police so they could come and collect the body. Collect him.
Alright then, so yeah.
Sad sounds of crime. Dad told the police my uncle admitted to his father that he had killed him in blind rage. They went to the back room to confirm my grandmother was dead. Dad didn't tell me that she lay dying of cancer years later when Terry had cut her heart out. He offered it.
Yeah, I feel like I don't want to use those, man. I just...
We assumed he'd been released because we never found any evidence of it. How he was killing the woman. It was never discovered. Police believed had to have it ground up. They also discovered the bodies of 3 homeless men rotting on the back of Terry's car. He had bled them. Some who had stained the wood in that room so badly they had to replace it. How he'd done all that without anyone noticing really had no idea. He ended up murdering Amanda without doing anything. And if it hadn't been for my grandmother's death being directly linked to him, I truly believe Dad would have been as much of a suspect as Uncle Terry. They took the bodies away. They took the bowl away. They returned it later. I ended up living with Dad. He got kind of depressed after the whole thing. Felt to have someone here with him. I lived here ever since. Imagine taking over the business. You're pretty much an overhead. I sat in silence for a few minutes. Just listening to the rain come down, static, the old radio crackled.
Nah, I don't replace that. Like, it's already dirt.
Have you ever used the radio?
I noticed.
I was afraid of the answer. Grandpa shook his head. Listen, very. Run the shop since his death. Did it without the radio. And why keep it? I asked, looking at the old thing a little differently now. Like that, I can't bring myself to destroy it. Sell it to someone else and ruin their life too. The shop's yours. Couldn't help but watch the radio. Thinking differently than I had earlier. As we sat drinking, I thought I could hear something under the sound of rain. It sounded like a low, melancholy moan. Came sliding into the speakers. Emma was an extrovert, but she hadn't always been one. I suppose it's my fault we drifted apart again. The truth is, I fell for all that bullshit. I listened to that voice, the sneering one nipped at the back of my ears with sharp incisors, the one that asked, "Why is your only friend a girl?" I fell for the indoctrination every 12-year-old boy does. It wasn't like she was a tomboy either. She was a real, proper girl, complete with the star and heart-shaped hair clips, sweeping blonde bangs, emotional forces, boy bands all over her purple toned walls, just like Mary.
Damn, why the... Oh shit, why no, fuck that then.
Not like her
Oh
anyway.
no, bruh.
Funny.
That's my limit.
She
That's
always
my
asked
limit,
me
actually,
questions.
alright.
They were shared. She was quiet around others. Long face always pointed down at her shoes. But she wasn't like that with me. It was my fault we drifted apart, but I couldn't stand how they looked at us. All of them when we were playing together next to the basketball court.
Oh shit.
I didn't like how the girls scoffed, how the boys shouted things I couldn't quite make out, and then shoved each other, laughing uproariously. But the worst were the adults. I saw the looks that they gave each other when Emma and I showed up in class side by side.
That's why I don't want a creeper in my phone. Like, creeper? I don't know.
We get invited to the wedding, right? So I stopped hanging out with them. I made new friends, boys who liked soccer, spitting contests. The looks and whispers stopped. Emma. That wasn't until high school. When we got to high school, I started to notice that Emma had changed. Lunch, went out to the front lawn with my friends to toss a frisbee back and forth like funny college kids. I started to see her with other people. And when I passed through the halls, I saw her with boys leaning against lockers, laughing, placing her hand on their shoulders. Every day, it seemed like there were more people, more friends, surrounding her like a school of fish, shipwrecked. Emma was always such a small, timid girl. She felt loner since she was tiny. I realized I didn't know who she was. I mean, I didn't necessarily miss her anymore. It had been years since we had so much as spoken to each other, but it still gave me a strange pang in my chest to think it. Emma was an extrovert now, I realized. She was nice to everyone. A huge smile was always pulling at her glossy lips. Her hair was always perfect, falling in little swoops at her shoulders. She wore bright pinks and oranges and blues in the form of tight skirts and frilly blouses. She was attractive to the boys in an approachable way, but so nice to the girls that she was never considered a threat, just a friend. And even from a distance, I could observe that everyone liked Emma. How could you not? At graduation, I looked for her. While I was accepting my fake diploma up on the stage, my friends and family cheered for me, a sea of faces. I searched the crowd for Emma. I spotted her quickly near the back. Someone was talking to her animatedly. It was a girl with a tight brown ponytail and braces. She was smiling a strange smile, but she wasn't responding. Instead, she stared straight forward. I felt my face get a little hot. Was she looking at me? Should I wait?
Okay, Mr. Chicken. I don't know.
When I squinted my eyes, I could tell that it wasn't me she was looking at. She was looking somewhere behind me. After the ceremony, I looked for her again. I tried to part the mass of bodies, muttering excuse me's and sorries as I went. She was surrounded by a throng of her peers, all speaking so loudly and cheerfully that I couldn't make out anything she was saying. I got a glimpse of her face for a split second. She was smiling in that same strange way, almost sad. I finally heard her say something, her pink lips parting like they were crumpled up as if she was crying. I'm gonna miss you all so much. Then came college. Emma and I ended up at the same school, one that was far enough away from home to feel like a grown-up, but not far enough away to actually be one. In college, I saw her less, so I thought of her less. College was much bigger than high school, and I had much more to think about than my old childhood friend. But when I did see Emma, things seemed the same. Always surrounded by people, always smiling. I made new friends, tried out for the soccer team. I made it. My grades were okay, B to C average. And my roommate was weird, but he always left me alone. I felt content with life at this moment. Until the party. It was by no means the first college party of the year, nor the craziest. I was told it would be just a couple of friends at one of the houses on campus, being rented out by seniors. But in typical college party fashion, It got out of hand pretty quickly. I went with a couple of my own friends, and we mostly stayed in the kitchen, crammed into the corner with mystery drinks clutched in our hands. The whole place reeked of smoke, and all the light bulbs had been changed to colored ones, giving the house almost an eerie nightclub vibe. It wasn't anything special, but feeling the warm buzz brought on by a mixture
Oh my god,
of
my
lead
arms are so
plastic cup,
fucked, man. Oh.
crouched in a stranger's kitchen with new friends, was feeling pretty good. I knew when Emma got there, I could claim I sensed it. Some sort of psychic superpower. Just knew by the chatter. The air suddenly felt lively. People funneled from the kitchen to the living room, calling out greetings. My friends and I used the temporary quiet in the kitchen to get ourselves fresh drinks. And then we filed out to the porch to smoke. My warm feeling only grew, and soon I was laughing so hard I thought I might piss myself. Elbowing my friends in the way that's only okay when you're drunk. The music thumped from inside the house, muted by the sliding glass door, and I didn't even feel the cold. When we finally decided to go back inside, I was surprised to find the kitchen entirely empty. I frowned and checked my phone. It's only around midnight. Why would everyone be gone? And that was when I heard someone shout from the other room, and my friends and I eyed each other. I felt a guilty twinge at how excited the prospect of a fight breaking out made me, but I wanted stories. I wanted the college experience. So we all rushed into the living room, and that's when I saw her. Emma was on the table, and everyone in the room was facing her as if she were a caged animal in the zoo. She was on her hands and knees, but in a way that told me she hadn't been standing up before. Clutching a clear bottle in one hand and the edge of the table with the other, I watched horrified as she retched over the side, wobbling back and forth like a swaying ship. Everyone shouted in dismay and crashed backwards towards the wall, wanting to avoid the splash zone, and I was very nearly forced out of the room. No, she moaned, wiping at her mouth with the back of her hand. The bottle clanked against her shirt buttons. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Clearly, she had had too much to drink, and I wondered what I had missed before I'd come in. My friends were laughing, nudging each other and me, but I didn't join them. Emma kneeled over, flopping pathetically on the table, as someone shouted, "Get down!" Their voice brash and cruel. Someone else laughed. Someone else started taking pictures of her.
Shit.
I'd never seen her like this. And I had never seen anyone be mean to Emma. Not since middle school, at least. I like to think I saw her wet skirt before anyone else did. At least, I hope that's true. I would hate for everyone there to remember their last time seeing her alive as her slumped over on someone's table, trickling down her legs and pooling at her hip, hugging an empty bottle like a teddy bear. I shoved through the crowd on an instinct, ignoring my friend's questioning shouts, trailing after me. I reached Emma in a few seconds, gently trying to pry the bottle from her hand and throw it on the table. She finally acknowledged me when I scooped her up into my arms, wincing at the wetness soaking through her. I like to think I saw her wet skirt before anyone else did. I hope that's true. I'd hate for everyone there to remember their last time seeing her alive as she was slumped over on someone's table, hugging an empty bottle like a teddy bear. I shoved through the crowd on instinct, ignoring my friend's questioning shouts trailing after me. I reached Emma in a few seconds, gently trying to pry the bottle from her hands and pull her from the table. She finally acknowledged me when I scooped her up into my arms, wincing at the wetness soaking through my shirt sleeves. Her eyes fluttered open, and she stared up at me. Her eyes glazed over. She whispered. I nodded, my face made of stone. The people all around us let out a collective "Ooh!" And I was back in middle school, letting go of Emma's hand, refusing to look her in the eye. I looked her in the eye then, and she smiled in that sad way that only I seemed to ever notice. then she threw up on my shirt. I got her to the bathroom and locked it behind us as thralls of people pounded against it with their fists, chanting our names. Emma, Andrew, Emma, Andrew. We've become the most interesting thing at the party, I thought. We've become the spectacle. Emma sobbed as I helped her into the bathtub, figuring it would be the easiest to clean off later. Emma's head fell back against the tile and she groaned. I silently slipped off my shirt and scrubbed at it in the bathroom sink, choking back my own bile as I did. I wasn't drunk anymore, or at least I didn't feel it. Andrew, she whispered after a long time. I looked over at her. She'd pushed her blonde hair away from her eyes, stringy with spit and vomit. She stared up at me, watery and trembling. Yeah, Emma? I gave up on my shirt and sighed, shaking it out and pulling it back on. I shuddered at how it clung to my skin. I'm sorry. It's okay. I closed the toilet seat so I could sit on top of it next to where she was laying. You okay? She shook her head quickly. Slowly.
Okay.
Her eyes opened wide and I recognized something.
Yeah, I need to farm now. I don't know.
Fear. I ruined everything, she whispered, frantic, her voice frayed. I frowned and leaned closer, wanting to hear her. What do you mean? You ruined everything? Maybe I wanted to. She buried her face in her hands, whimpering into them. Maybe I meant to, Andrew. Maybe I'm sick of this. Maybe I can't do this anymore. Do what anymore? I pleaded, a little bit alarmed. She was rocking back and forth now, her breath coming in raspy wisps. She peeked at me from between her fingers now, or surveying me.
Yep, chicken goes there.
That somehow triggered a new wave of blubbering sobs, tears dripping from her chin like fat raindrops. I used to be so jealous of you, she snuffled, wiping at her red nose. And so many friends, and I couldn't have any of them. And then I was jealous of you because you didn't have to have any. My eyebrows furrowed, almost a painful amount, and I searched her face, unsure if I should feel offended by this or not. The pounding on the door continued. Emma! Emma! What do you mean, Emma? I don't understand. Her eyes glazed over, her tears still falling, and she stared through me at the bathroom door. That there? That's not. She whispered. So weak I could barely hear her. Her breathing quickened. What follows you? She shook her head and pulled at her hair. Finally, her eyes met mine again, as if she were phasing back into reality. It's in them, she said, jabbing a finger at the door. It's in all of them. It's watching me, always. It always knows when I don't have any friends. It gets angry. Emma! 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 I could do nothing but stare at her, trying to figure out if she was serious or not. She must have been pretty drunk, but right then she seemed stone cold sober. I have to have friends, she continued, the tears never slowing down. I've done all my research. I wear the right clothes. I go to their houses and I peek through their windows. I know what they like, what they don't like. I have a binder. Everyone I meet is in my binder. Everyone has to like me, Andrew, or it'll kill me. I know it will. It gets closer every time I lose a friend. It started with you. I felt suddenly very cold. I heard the words she wasn't saying. You were the very first friend I ever lost. I thought of her at graduation, staring at something that wasn't there behind me. A strange smile on her face.
Nice. I'm trying to farm, huh? Farmlands.
Emma! Emma!
My arms, bro. My arms.
She sobbed bitterly.
You know what? I'm gonna farm later. I don't care.
I did to myself all of that work, and one night
Oh god, I'm tired as fuck.
It's
I'm
gonna
gonna just
kill me now. It's gonna
chill.
kill me. Nope, it isn't. I heard myself say. I knelt next to her, catching her franticness like a cold. No, it's not. You're safe in here. It's gonna kill me, she mumbled. I wasn't sure if she even heard me. All that work, it's gonna kill me. You're safe in here, and I'm your friend. I'm still your friend. I reached out and I took her hand.
Where's my progress? This motherfucking chicken stuck with this bullshit.
Emma,
Hey, hey,
Emma,
hey, hey, no.
Emma, 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 Emma. The voices had all morphed into one horrific amalgamation. The door hinges creaked
There are a few
shut.
sheep now, so
Like
there's
they
not
were
many
only just
population
moving
anyways.
along. The
Yeah,
lock
there's no
rattled.
sheep population
Emma
no
let out a
more.
little shriek.
I don't
Without
know
thinking
why.
about it, I climbed into the tub with her and pulled the curtain shut.
You know what? I'm gonna farm off screen, but I don't know.
It was
Yeah.
too late for that anyway.
Maybe
She
today
stared,
and see you next one.
but almost gray.
Peace. And I build this game.
Flickering with something I'd never seen.
Look at that awesome shit, man. Like, damn. They can't even see that because I'm just buffing entries because these motherfuckers are
I
fucked.
don't know how I know, but I hate you.
Look at that.
I'm sorry,
Look
Emma.
at that shit.
It's okay, Emma. For what it's worth, I wish we stayed like we were.
Love you
She stood
today and
close
see you
to me,
next one.
her head on my shoulder, but her mouth was
Peace.
the bathroom door.
Peace.